And that was Halfway There by Big Time Rush.
We have a very special show for you all today. We have later a special guest, Emily Lucas, with us.
Lucas is here.
Yes.
You know what that means.
What?
So all of our names start with the letter E.
E.
But the show is usually E squared. Not today.
Just for one day, it's called E cubed.
E
cubed. Welcome.
Wow. One day only. So if you're listening right now, it's a very special day. You're getting the first ever E cubed.
Exactly.
But anyway, before we have Emily Lucas on the air with us, we're going to give you guys some updates, what's been going on in our lives.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
One big announcement is that, last week we had Chrissy Maber on.
Yeah.
And she mentioned her story with type 1.5 diabetes.
Yeah.
And so she mentioned last week that on the 14th, which is today, it's Diabetes Awareness Day.
Mm-hmm.
And so to celebrate that, like they usually say, like to wear blue. So Elena and I both have blue on.
We're wearing the blue.
Yes. So happy Diabetes Awareness Day, everybody.
Happy Diabetes Awareness Day.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's point number 1. Point number 2 is that we went to senior bingo.
We did. It was a crowd.
I do think there were a lot of people there, and they had some amazing prizes.
Oh yeah.
I was hoping that maybe I would get a little prize, but it didn't happen. It's okay though.
It was funny though, because anytime like Elaine and I were so close to bingo, we just like our eyes were like bulging out.
Whoa.
We were like, oh yeah, like I'm like, oh no, I'm not gonna celebrate now. But
I don't want to get my hopes up.
Yeah, and like one of the things that they were doing was that, for each year they have the giving thing where you make a donation to your class. So, for seniors, of course, because we're the class of 2024, it was, if you donated $20.24, you get like a philanthropy cord.
Yeah.
But then if you did it before the night with bingo ended, you'd be in the drawing for a Roku TV.
See, that was really cool, but what I thought was pretty weird about that is that they were advertising senior bingo as if the Roku TV was a prize for bingo.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to go to senior bingo and I'm going to get a Roku TV. I didn't make my donation at the bingo because I was like, you know what? I mean, I just figured to not do it because I thought it was going to be a prize for bingo. And also I'm like, I don't need a TV anyway. So I'll just leave it to whoever makes their donation. But I thought that it was going to be like the grand prize, but the grand prize was an iPad.
Oh yeah, you can't complain about that.
So that was pretty cool.
One thing though, which I swore I saw, I mean there was a glare, but I'm not being paranoid, I swear. Well, that when they were doing like that little online wheel thingy for the TV, it took 3 tries because like they said, oh, if you're not here, you have to.
See, but that was messed up because they kept spinning the wheel and the names that were picked, they weren't there at senior bingo.
But the messed up thing was that the person that got picked, like the person that was actually there, my name I think was the next one up on the wheel.
I know.
So I was just like, oh man.
You were so close. Like, literally so close.
Literally so close. Like if the wheel went just like a little bit more, I would have, like I have like a Samsung like smart TV or whatever, but not like, of course it still works. It's just like it might be like a little bit older. So, I could have used it, but it's okay.
But anyway, senior bingo was fun. I had a fun time.
Yeah.
It was great seeing all the seniors competing, and everyone got really into it too, which was so fun. Yeah.
Into it means frustrated.
You're right about that. Oh my gosh. But anyway, something also really exciting that's happened over the past week. There was a comedian on campus named Paul Mercurio, and I had the honor of interviewing him in this room, and he was the best. He was so funny, and I interviewed him on Friday, and then he called in to my solo radio show on Saturday to promote his show a little bit because he had his show Saturday night at Pollock Theater. And I got to see that as well. Steph and I, we went with our mom, and it was so good. It was like he would bring up random people on stage, and he would just kind of like ask them questions, but then like naturally you'd get these crazy stories out of people, and it was so funny. And there were like some really iconic people in the crowd. But yeah, it was a really great time, and I'm very grateful for Paul for being so nice and for giving a great interview. It's on the WMCX website right now, so if you check out WMCX.com and you click on, it's either sessions or interviews, whatever the tab is, and you can listen to the full interview. It's like 40 minutes long, and I was like, oh, maybe he'll come on for like 15, 20 minutes, but no, we were having such a good time, and it just kind of, it was like a Netflix episode. That's how long it was. But yeah, his show Permission to Speak was great. If you're listening and his show is coming to a city near you, I definitely recommend it. Permission to Speak. Paul Mercurio. He's a cool dude.
Yeah, I wanted to go, but then I realized like I made plans to see one of my friends from Brookdale, so I was just I don't want to cancel, like I haven't seen this friend in a while, so, and I kept promising them I'd hang out and stuff, but it's okay. I'll listen to the interview, and like I've heard, like what you said about the show and then what some other people said about the show, so it was like I was almost there in a way.
It was so good. But yeah, that was cool. And also on Saturday something else happened.
Saturday football.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was trying to think like what else. Oh yeah, it was the last football game. It was senior day for the football players. We unfortunately didn't win the last game, but
no.
It was all right. I mean, it was tied for most of the time, and then like right near the end, I think it was I can't remember the team, but I know the mascot or like the whatever is like the Wildcats. No, yeah.
East High.
What?
East High Wildcats. I'm kidding.
I was making a bunch of High School Musical jokes with it.
Oh really?
Yeah, I kept saying that on Saturday.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, but I forgot like what the school was though for High School Musical. But yeah, it was the last game, and even if it was senior day, it was just for the football players, and then I guess like for everybody else, it's for basketball season. So even if we didn't win the last one, it's okay. It was actually my first semester doing pep band for football, so it was nice seeing that, seeing the difference between basketball and football.
Yeah. And now basketball season's coming up, or it started.
Basketball season is officially started.
Yeah.
It started right before football season started. So right now it's basketball season. We had so far one home game. Well, no, there has been other games, but for pep band, I'm just speaking on like a pep band point of view. We had our first game Friday for the women's team. It was an insane game. They won 74 to 69.
Yay.
And it was just really nice because, like the women's team won the NCAA tournament last year in Illinois. So they showed like a little video. They put up like that banner saying how they were the NCAA champions in 2023.
Wow.
So it was just like really heartwarming seeing that, because I know I wasn't on the Illinois trip for pep band, but just knowing how.
No, we went to Indiana.
Indiana. I knew it started with an I.
I was like, when did they go to Illinois? I missed it.
Indiana. My mind. Yeah. But yeah. So since they won that last in the spring, they put up the banner, and like I said, it was really heartwarming seeing that. Like the alumni that just graduated that were a part of the women's team, they were like up there, like putting down the banner.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah, and like it was awesome seeing them win. The first, I guess, like I said, I think it's like the first home game for the season. So yeah, like they're still like, rocking it. They're awesome.
Yes. It's nice to see that they have a strong start to the season.
Yeah.
Especially after last season and seeing them go all the way.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
March Madness, baby. That was so crazy.
It was insane. And I'm just trying to pull it up. There is a game tomorrow, but I can't remember if it's women's or men's team. I haven't seen a men's team yet, but if you can't make one game, there are definitely a bunch of opportunities to go to a game, because there's like usually like 2 or 3 a week. Okay, so tomorrow, if anybody's interested, 7 to 9 we have a women's basketball game, and then I know there's Saturday is men's basketball, and then Sunday again is women's basketball. So
Heck yeah.
You have a few opportunities.
Yes, go check out the basketball teams and the pep band.
Of course.
I'll definitely be coming back for some games after I graduate.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Oh gosh, that'll be so much fun.
We love to hear that.
Oh gosh, but well anyway, we have a very special guest sitting in the studio with us, and we want you all to hear her share her story about her songwriting, who she is, and her first single that just dropped today. It's called A Trigger Warning.
I am so excited.
And I love the song so much, so I'm so excited to talk about it. But first, let's play some music. I got a song that I think all of you will enjoy. I also think our special guest might enjoy it as well. This one is Dreamer by Leve. And that was Dreamer by Leve.
We have one more song for you before we bring on Emily Lucas. And this song I just discovered last night by the same writer that wrote Golden Hour. Please enjoy This Is What Autumn Feels Like by Jake. And that was This Is What Autumn Feels Like by Jake.
That was so beautiful.
We just had an experience in here.
We all just sat here in the studio. We were all wearing our headphones and just vibing. That was so good.
It was my therapy for the day.
Oh gosh. Well, anyway, welcome back to E Squared, everyone. We have a very special guest with us today, Miss Emily Lucas.
Woo.
Say hello.
Hello. How are you?
Oh my gosh, this is so crazy.
It is.
First of all, E cubed.
E cubed.
Oh, this is so much fun.
It is. It's so nice to see you both.
It's nice to see you too. It's been a few years.
Should we get into the lore?
Yes.
Oh, yes, we have
let's
to.
Get into the lore. So we have to talk about how we know each other. Well, we know each other from high school.
Yes.
Primarily the Golden Falcon marching bands.
Right on.
And then like jazz band, choir.
All that good stuff. Drama for the two of us, yeah.
Yes. All of that really fun stuff.
Good memories.
Feels so long ago, but I'm just like, when I first like saw you like come in, I'm like, oh my god, it's her.
Yeah, it's strange. We've all changed, but it's almost like when you're back together again, like things really haven't changed that much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is so beautiful because I know, oh gosh, Emily Lucas and I, because I have to like distinguish Emily's. Like, Emily Lucas and I, we've reconnected recently, but this is the first time in a few years that the two Emilys have connected in person. And
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I'm surprised that like there wasn't like some huge explosion because like the fusion of the two Emilys.
Oh yeah.
Oh gosh, but this is really fun. We're so glad to have you here today. We're gonna talk about you and your music. You're a songwriter and also many other things, but we're gonna get into it. You are a recent graduate of William Patterson University.
I am.
So talk about what you studied.
I originally went into the university as a music education major. Quickly realized that was not going to work out for me. Ironic because now I teach. So yes. But yeah, I went for music education and then ended up deciding to do the performance track for jazz and opera voice. So that's what my degree is in.
Yay.
Yeah, it was definitely a strange experience, but a good experience.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. Yeah, so how do you feel like your college education influenced your songwriting? Because you're surrounded by a lot of jazz. There's so much jazz influence in your single, so definitely let us know what really from college informed your style.
Well, a lot of people think that if you're going to be a musician, you really shouldn't waste your time on music school, which I think it depends on where you go. But specifically for William Patterson, there's just such a big community of people really trying things that don't always work out. And a good friend of mine once said, smart people don't just learn from their mistakes, but learn from the mistakes of others. And so you have this community of people that they're really just trying stuff that's kind of weird, or sometimes it works out, and you're all learning at the same time, so you can take in all these different influences. Elena used to hear my music that I wrote in high school, which may not ever be aired, but you know, it's a lot different because now I've had the time to experiment and really play off of other musicians that were in the same community at William Patterson, as well as networking. All of the musicians on my new single, Trigger Warning, are other students. And the studio that I went to, I found through other students. So it's definitely been a lot of trial and error, but it was really nice to have the community of musicians, not only students but faculty-wise, that could kind of play off each other.
Yeah, that's so cool. So all of the instruments on your song, are those all live instruments?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. First draft of Trigger Warning was all live. It was piano, bass, drums, piano, bass, drums, and saxophone. And they were all recorded at the same time, as well as vocals. But there was a problem with the recording, so we ended up having to go back and redo piano and sax.
Oh, wow.
So it was, at one point, all live recorded together. But yes, they are all acoustic instruments.
Yes. Oh my gosh, because I definitely heard a sense in the song that everything like seemed very natural. And I really liked the sound of it. So I'm totally not surprised that it was all live, and it sounds beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
Yeah. Shout out to, can I shout out some people?
Oh,
Of
yes.
course you can.
Okay. Shout out to Jackson Bernstein on drums, Ben Petkaitis on bass, Lasse Corson on piano, and Isaac Algonzo Ketter on saxophone.
Very nice.
Yeah, they are wonderful musicians and beautiful people.
That's nice. Good team.
Absolutely.
Like looking back at high school and college music related events, how do you feel it all impacted you now as a songwriter and a musician?
Honestly, I think, again, it's all trial and error. There were a lot of things that I really liked in my high school musical experience. Just really working on formulating what Emily Lucas music sounds like.
Yeah.
You know, at the time I started writing kind of like lyrical, what would you even qualify that as?
Oh my gosh, back in the day?
Yeah.
It was very, I don't even know how to describe it. It was very lyrical, flowy,
like ethereal.
Earnest, ethereal, yeah.
Yeah.
Very like reflective.
Yeah. And then somewhere along the way, it just kind of, I think it grew up as I grew up, and it kind of got angry. I don't really know how to describe it other than that, but yeah, it changed from being this kind of innocent, ethereal type of writing with not really much more than piano to being this structured, more mature sound, a lot more jazz influence, like Elena said, but a deeper texture, I would say.
Yes. So did your songwriting start in high school or before?
It started when I was 8.
Oh my gosh.
I wrote a song called Personality, which will never see the light of day. But in essence, it was about not caring about someone's physical appearance and more just loving them because of their personality.
That's so cute.
Yeah, and growing up, my parents used to yell at me to stop singing because I would just sing about everything.
Aww.
I could grab something from the fridge, and suddenly there's a song about mayo and pickles, and how do we get there? No one knows. So really, I feel like I've been writing, quote, quote, for a while, but seriously, writing started in high school.
Yes, because I remember you had like a book with your songs in it, and sometimes you would sit in the band room and like play your stuff, and I always thought it was so beautiful, because I know we talked about this. I'm like, you really inspired me to start writing, because I like the idea of having ownership over your own music and kind of sharing who you are inside through the form of music. So it's really like crazy to see how much your style has evolved since then.
Oh, thank you so much. That's really sweet of you. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of strange to think about it, but now that I've said that, it kind of has grown with me. Mm-hmm. That's strange. Yeah. And you've released some music yourself, Miss Ma'am.
That's right. Yeah, that's been fun. My second song is going to turn 1 year old very soon, next month.
Already?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh gosh, wild. Yeah, songwriting is such a joy. What a ride.
Mm.
But anyway, speaking of songwriting and such, who do you think your favorite artists are right now, and do you think they influence your music in a way?
absolutely, hands down, no hesitation, my favorite artist of all time is NF.
Yes!
Yes, he is a rapper and a Christian, but not necessarily like a Christian rapper. Like, his songs aren't very obviously about God or church. They're just songs about mental health and really taboo topics that I think people don't necessarily talk about. Mental health and even trauma and how you view yourself. And he has this slogan, real music, which I really have always related to. I wanted to write music that affected people. It wasn't just fun to listen to. And I feel like he really encapsulates that. He's always kind of been about not making music for marketing purposes. It's genuine music. So definitely him. Nat King Cole's my husband. I don't care what anyone else says. He's amazing. Anyone else? Leve.
Yes.
I think, and Smino. I don't know if you know who Smino is.
I don't know.
He's kind of like rap R&B type vibes, and I happened across him one day, and his album has been on repeat. It's like my straight vibes playlist. Yeah, Black Swan. Good album.
Ooh, maybe I'll check it out. Maybe I'll give it a listen.
You should.
Yes.
Oh, but I mean, I think it's wonderful how you still love NF, because I remember like you mentioning him years ago, and whenever I like hear about him like throughout the world, I always think of you, because I never really hear anyone talking about NF, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Emily loves NF.
I want that on a shirt. Emily loves NF.
Emily loves NF.
She really does. Yeah, I mean, he is in this really cool metamorphosis too of his songs have gone from pain and kind of sitting in pain to now he just released his newest album, Hope, which is all about hope. Self-explanatory, but yeah, it's so beautiful, and just watching his progression through his own pain is kind of encouraging.
That is wild, because I do remember you mentioning like his deeper topics in his music, and now hearing that he has an album called about hope and everything. Wow.
Yeah.
My mind is blown right now, if you couldn't tell. That's so awesome.
Yeah, it's been a few years, so we're catching up.
Exactly, like at the same
Absolutely.
time, it's like, oh gosh, like what have you been up to? Oh, you still like this? Like, oh, this is so nice. Anyway, moving on. Emily, do you have another question?
Yeah. Well, it's like so hard because like this is like such like a broad question, especially as somebody so involved in music. But like, who would you consider your biggest inspiration in your life to be where you are now as a musician?
Can I have two? Can I say two?
Of course you can.
Okay. My first one is my pop-up. My dad's dad. He unfortunately passed away, but he always used to call me Little Beyonce, which I don't want to be Beyonce now, but for a time I was her. We were the same person. And he just always believed in me. You know, he always said that I was going to be something and that I was going to teach, which at the time I rebuked, but now obviously he was right. Yeah, he always really thought that I was going to do it. He was the reason that I dropped out of gymnastics and started piano lessons, and then stopped piano lessons and started singing, and really just pushed me to pursue, I guess, what I was meant to do. So him. And then my dad, whom I adore. My dad and I, for those who don't know, work together in a band called Total Soul.
Yeah.
And so we've been Total Soul. We've been touring, I guess touring the country for a few years now, just playing from like Virginia to Maine. I think Ohio's going to happen eventually, but yeah, we've been working together on music, and growing up, he was the musician in our household, and so my sister and I started kind of following in his footsteps, and eventually now we work together and drive each other crazy and just have a great time. So he's always been pushing me to do the things that I feel like he's also believed in me to do.
That's so sweet.
Yeah.
I remember, like, I don't know how I forgot about this, but, like, I remember seeing you guys perform that time in, like, oh my god, I can't remember what town it was. I thought it was, like, Point Pleasant or something, or Belmar.
Could have been.
But yeah, because also adding on to it, our band director in high school was in the same band.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mr. Romano.
Mr. Romano.
Joey.
We love
A
you.
living legend.
Yes.
Yeah, but I remember seeing you guys perform, and I'm like, oh my god, like this band is so good. Like, I'm a whole like Total Soul fan. I'm a groupie.
Thank you.
But
We
yeah,
love Total Soul.
that's
We
awesome
stand.
though.
Yeah, thank you. Good question. Thank you.
Oh yeah, no problem. I forgot what I was gonna say about it, but like yeah, because it's just like I think it's like really cool though that you get to work with your dad, especially like as something you both love doing. Like that's just a comment I had to say, but like that's just awesome though. Like I'm just like fangirling over that. Yeah.
Yes. Let's talk about your single that just dropped today. It's called Trigger Warning. So what made you decide to put this one out? What made this the first song?
After writing in high school, I wrote an album in high school. It didn't really go anywhere. But then suddenly I got to college and just was like, I guess had a case of writer's block in essence. I didn't write for 3 years and honestly felt so emotionally pent up and artistically pent up. Went through some life changes and just all of a sudden one day I got mad enough and wrote Trigger Warning. And not only wrote it, but it poured out of me. Sometimes you write a song and it takes months. It just came right out. So I wanted to be true to that writing process, and also with the other songs that came after it that are eventually going to be released as well, I also wanted to be true to the healing process that it took me through, because I write songs for other people to hear and hopefully have an experience with, and hopefully that causes them to heal, but writing for me is also healing. So I kind of just wanted to echo that process and be true to it.
Yeah. So how did you come up with sort of the soundscape of the song? Because as we mentioned, it's a lot of live instruments. So how did you kind of choose what you wanted?
Trial and error, baby. Trial and error. I knew I wanted piano. I knew bass is one of my favorite instruments. I knew it needed bass. I had the opportunity to work with the drummer who's on the album. His name's Jackson Bernstein, and he's just a crazy cat. He is insane, and I love the way he plays with just all his heart. So I knew I wanted drums on there as well. And then adding saxophone kind of came later. I wanted an instrument that was sultry, because I feel like the style of Trigger Warning is kind of sultry in that way. But I also wanted something that wasn't too clear. I feel like flute can be a very clear instrument. It can be two flautists.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes. I almost forgot.
Oh my goodness. I feel like it can be a little bit too innocent. So I wanted something with kind of like some grit as well.
Yeah.
And I just felt like saxophone was going to be the right fit. Initially, I had wanted a bigger sax, like a tenor sax, but we ended up going with alto because the saxophone player that I chose, Algonzo, he's also insane. He is a crazy player and feels very passionately, and that's kind of a vibe that I like to stick with, is musicians that are talented and have technique but really feel what they're playing.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool, because it's one thing to have someone who's incredibly talented, but if they don't have the passion behind it, then what are you doing?
Absolutely.
Right. Very true.
Yeah, so the lyrics in this song are incredibly descriptive, and also just the vocabulary. I know I've pointed out some of my favorite words that you've used in the song. So why don't you talk to us about the concept behind it, especially in the chorus? Where did all of these words, or how did they all form?
I wanted to create a song about a person that was so abominable and just you hate him, or you hate them, I guess, because I don't really think I gender this person, but I wanted to create this character that you could so easily see how manipulative and disgusting this character was, so that it could really kind of apply to anyone in your life. But
Relatable.
So I didn't want to say things like, your hair is brown, and I hate that. I wanted it to be, there's no visual of this person. You can really just relate to them through their characteristics. So I wanted to say the person was kind of inevitable. So I thought, what are some things that are inevitable but also inescapable? And I really just felt like the phrase, the need to play with fire. I just felt like that was like, we all have this yearning for chaos at times. And sometimes that looks like going out and buying too much food or like going to Target for no reason. But sometimes it looks like doing the thing that you know is wrong just because you're curious about it. Like, curiosity killed the cat. So you're the need to play with fire. You're the devil in disguise, which I feel like is, pretty self-explanatory. You're a snow-covered lake with a thin layer of ice. I loved that line.
Yes.
Because you think about it, you see a lake, you see snow on top. You think the ice is heavy enough to hold all this snow. It might as well hold me. So you take a step out onto it. And this thing that seems so steady and so stable and so secure, you fall right through it. And you can drown. You can get seriously injured. You could even die. So it's like this aspect of, like, it's a trap. It's a velvet trap. You're the serpent in the garden, kind of a biblical allusion. Of course, the creation story, if you know what that is, which is basically Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, and the serpent comes up and says, "Eat the apple." So yeah, like this presence that's kind of pushing you towards the thing you shouldn't do, the exact thing that you shouldn't do. Sometimes it's arsenic surprise or serpent in the garden with the deadly tree of life. Again, the biblical allusion. Arsenic surprise, I just think is super funny. Like, it's a surprise, but you're dead, so it was not a good surprise. You're a wolf in sheep's clothing. This same perspective of, oh, it's so soft, I just want to pet it, and it's really cute, and oh my gosh, it looks so innocent, and then suddenly it's a wolf, and it's going to eat you, and you're going to get hurt. Yeah, you should have come with a trigger warning. There should have been something that should have told me this is a wolf. This is a thin layer of ice on a lake. You're going to get hurt. And I feel like a lot of people can relate to that. You end up in a relationship or in any sort of circumstance and you realize that, hey, I did everything that I thought I could, or hey, maybe I didn't do the right thing and ended up in this situation, and now there's a lot of baggage with that. So, yeah, you should have come with a trigger warning.
Wow. I think the lyrics that you chose and the fact that they came out of you so easily and poetically, I think that's very, very impressive.
Thank you.
Do you think there's that level of lyricism throughout the rest of your songs that'll be on the album in the future?
Absolutely.
Yes.
I am so excited.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
I'm really picky about lyrics. And not to be a dream killer, because I don't want to dream kill. I feel like if you have lyrics that are kind of bland, it can be good in some instances. It can point to the backgrounds of the song. It can point to the mood of the song. Like, let's say you're singing a song about being so hurt that you just don't have any energy, like Black Coffee, which is a song about your man's gone away, and so this woman is just saying, I'm moaning all the morning, I'm mourning all the night. Like, I mean, those are pretty good lyrics. Anyway, you can have lyrics that are a little more bland and it'll point to the theme of the song or the instrumentation. But if you accidentally have very bland lyrics, sometimes it just kind of falls off. I want to have music that conceptually, with its instrumentation, draws you in, but also has so many layers in the words that you can just sit down and listen to it, and every time there's something new that you can hear. I don't know if I'm ever going to reach that point, but that is the goal.
I believe in you.
Oh, thank you, Emily.
Oh, you're welcome, Emily.
Well, that is very exciting. That makes me really excited for your music in the future.
Thank you.
Because I can already tell, based off this first single, it's going to be so good. Oh my gosh.
I am so excited.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I'm so excited too. I am not a very patient person, and so I released Trigger Warning last night and immediately started working on the next song that's going to be released, and I really just want to, like, put it out there.
Yeah.
Like, who cares, but, gotta build suspense.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard. You just want to, like, oh my gosh, this is so fun. Let's release another,
Right.
Yeah. But, I mean, I'll be very excited for when that next release date drops and all that good stuff. Do you have any other questions for Emily? Emily?
Mostly just like a comment, like, I know it's been like a couple of years since we've seen each other, and just like, I am just so excited for your musical journey, like, especially like, you finished college. I was about to say high school. You finished college, and then after this one song, I'm like, you have such a bright future, and I am just, I'll even if I haven't seen you in a while, like, I'll be your cheerleader. Like, I'm just so excited for you and so happy for you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's so nice to see both of you.
Yes, so nice to see you too. This is like when we all walked into the lobby together, it's insane, this reunion that's happening. And I think it's a really beautiful thing.
Oh my God,
I'm just like looking at both of you like, wow.
Like this is actually happening. Yeah, because it's like an unofficial high school reunion.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And it's so beautiful to see how life has treated both of you, because I know we were just talking about high school was hard.
Oh yeah.
High school was not easy, and so it's beautiful to see how you both flourished outside of that. And
yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely.
I guess we could wrap up things by kind of do you have any advice for aspiring songwriters? I know like putting out music is a new world to you, but to anyone who might be wanting to take that step, what would you tell them?
Just do it. I mean, is it Nike? Is that
just
Nike?
Do it? Yeah, that's Nike.
Yeah. Not to be Nike, but yeah, I'm kind of an overthinker. I'm very much an overthinker, and I didn't really tell many people, but last night I was really freaking out. This is my first time I'm like actually doing the thing that I've always wanted to do, and I talked to my dad, and he called me dumb, respectfully, but he did call me dumb. I just thought, I can't put this out. This is not ready. I'm not ready, and just put it out. Because once you're there, you've already taken the first step. And if no one likes it, then it doesn't matter anyway, because they're not going to listen to it, so you don't have to worry about it. But what if they do like it? And what if, outside of yourself, what if your music is exactly what someone needed to hear?
Wow.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Just
well
take that.
said.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to listen to Trigger Warning right now, so you want to give a little like, hey, I'm Emily Lucas, and this is Trigger Warning. Like, intro it.
Oh, sure. Hello, my name is Emily Lucas, and you're listening to Trigger Warning.
And that was Trigger Warning by Emily Lucas.
Well, we reached the end of another show. No.
It makes me sad. I want to cry, Emily.
I know,
cry.
me too. Me too, also, Emily. But yeah, and also next week is our Thanksgiving show.
Yes, Thanksgiving show next week.
So we're going to be very grateful,
Yes.
Talk about things we're grateful for.
Talk about the parade. There are going to be some fun Broadway performances on the parade, so we're going to talk about what's in store for that. But yeah, I mean, speaking of Broadway, I just want to throw out there real quick that my sister and I are competing in Broadway World's Next on Stage competition.
Yes.
So if you want to look us up on the Broadway World website, go to their Next on Stage page, look up Elena Wharton and Stephanie Wharton, check out our videos, and please show your support and vote for us. Yeah, I just want to throw that out there.
And you can vote every single day, so keep that in mind as well. We actually put it up on our E Squared story, but I'll try to make sure I'll post it every single day. So yeah, just in case if you need the link. But yeah, we reached the end of another show.
That's right. Thank you, Emily Lucas, for being here today.
Check out Trigger Warning.
Yes.
And thank you so much for joining us again for another week. And we will see you again next Tuesday at 3 p.m.
Yeah.
Good
Bye,
night.
everyone.
Bye.